guys, it's Missy and welcome back to my channel. Today this video is going to be episode 2 of the book recommendations that I've read in the month of September. Even though this is November, I was a little bit behind on trying to get this video going, so I hope you guys can forgive me. In total, I have read 8 books, and each of these books were very, very good, interesting, funny, slow in the beginning, but picked up. But disclaimer, there's about 2 books that are really, really spicy, and I recommend that you guys ask parents' permission before purchasing these books. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this video and let's get right onto it. Also, if you have not seen the first video that I've done, which was the book recommendation part 1 of the books I've read in August, I will link that down below. So yeah, let's get right into it. So the first book I'm going to be sharing with you guys is one of my favorite ones that I started doing. It's a Twisted Tales series that has every single Disney movie like Sleeping Beauty, Mulan, Cinderella, Aladdin. I know I'm missing a couple more. Snow White, The Lion King. But in these series, it's a retelling, and it's basically placed in a different perspective that's not like the movie, but a little bit different. So the first one, this is book number 3 in the Twisted Tale series, and it is Once Upon a Dream by Liz Broswell. I gave this 5 stars, and I read this book more than 2 times. First off, this does give you like parts of the movie where Prince Philip kills the dragon. This time it goes to where he's about to kiss Princess Aurora, but then you go back in time. In my opinion, it seems like you're going back in time. You're basically seeing that Princess Aurora is still she's still under the spell, and you get placed into the dream world where you have all the people that are in the kingdom, in the real world. They're all asleep, but they got sucked into the dream world. You have Maleficent, who becomes the queen of the dreamland, and of the dream world. She just pretends that she's protecting Princess Aurora and making her forget what's going on. Like, I would say, like, basically making her think that she's not where she is in the dream world. But in later in the chapters, she is. She figures out what's going on, and she figures out that she's not, she's trying to figure out, okay, I need to get out of here. I'm wasting precious time, because she's now under the spell. She's still cursed. And what happens is she goes and she tries to go find the 3 fairies that were with her when she was little growing up. So this one, I gave this book 5 stars. I must say this book was really, really interesting, very fun to read, and if you enjoy watching the Disney movie of Sleeping Beauty, you will definitely love this one. So 5 out of 5 for this one. The next book I have is one of the ones I regret reading, but I've not seen this one on Book Talk or anything like that. But I only bought this book because I liked the cover, and it's called A Death at the Party by Amy Straunt. So basically, this book, I rated it, I think, 4 stars. I almost rated it 3, but I rated it 4 stars. First of all, this book was really, really slow in the beginning. It was based on the girl named Nadine, and she pulls us into she talks about a little bit about her past and the loss of her aunt Colleen, who died. In this book, it was based on Nadine being a host for her mother's 86th birthday and the anniversary of her aunt Colleen's death. In the morning, like this book, it breaks it down into like 3 different days. Like you have morning, afternoon, and then evening, which is the day of the party. In the morning, it talks about like her going on about her day, getting prepared for this party. And she had to do like invitations. She had to make sure that everything was ready. The afternoon, it brings up the same thing, but this one's like a case where you're bringing stuff up about Nadine's aunt's death and trying to figure out what really happened, how did it come about, like how did she die. I can't remember like everything about this book too much, but I will say that there was a plot twist at the end that I did not expect, and the evening event, like when it actually started and it picked up, could not believe it. It was so good, and that's why it got saved from, instead of giving a 3 stars, I gave it 4 stars instead. So if you guys have not read this book, I recommend this book to anybody. I did not recommend this to any of my friends though, because I wanted to find out for myself how good this book would be, but I proved myself wrong until it got saved. So yeah, 4 out of 5 for this one. The next book I read is the sequel to It Ends With Us by Colin Hoover. This book is one of the ones that made me feel really happy. It made me feel better than the first one. It Starts With Us by Colin Hoover. Now, the first one was all about Lily and her past and how she was able to, just her life in general. This book is about Atlas, where half of it is about his life and his past, and basically how him and what goes on now between him and Lily. You do have Lily and you still have Ryo. You do get like parts about the daughter, Lily's daughter, but not in all the chapters. But this book will make you feel it will make you cry a little bit, but this one will make you feel like you're actually Lily's mother, who is so proud of all of her accomplishments, her improvement, her strength, who she is in this book now. I have not recommended this book to anybody yet, but I did recommend it to one of my coworkers. This one is a 5 out of 5 for me. And I cannot wait to read this book again because of how much happiness I had. Like throughout the book, I had a smile on my face the whole entire time, but there was parts where I started crying because of what Atlas had to go through, how he ended up being the type of guy who is kind, respectful, caring. I can't say too much of this one because I might cry. The next one, I'm scared to talk about this one because this is one of the ones that you should ask parents permission for, and it's really spicy. I've read this book more than 3 times, and this book is one of the Never After series, and I do have some special announcement to say about the Never After series, and I'll talk about that at the end. I'm just going to show you all the book because I don't want to say it. I just want to show you all the book. Yikes. Sorry, this is how excited I'd be feeling after reading this book more than 3 times. Okay, so this book is the first one of the Never After series. It's called Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This book is a retelling of Peter Pan. You still have Captain James Hook, and you still have Wendy. But for the other characters, you also still have John too. But the thing is, in this one, you don't have like the other ones like Tinkerbell or Peter Pan, or you do have Smee, and you do have one of their but another one of their men that help them out. But basically, this book is the relationship between James and Wendy, where in this book it deals with drugs, or aka pixie dust, and you had a guy named Rue and James that were in charge of this business of making sure that the pixie dust was being shipped back and forth to where it needed to be. Well, in this case, James runs into Wendy, who is seen at his bar, the JR, and he instantly falls in love with her. But I'm not going to spoil too much. There's a plot twist at the end. Yes, they instantly fall in love. Yes, there are like a bit of action and some violence in this thing. Yes, there is some spiciness and intense moments throughout the chapters that I really don't want to say too much about. But this book, I gave it a 5 out of 5. And I highly recommend this book. Highly recommend. And also, they got a hardcover book that's coming out on December the 3rd or the 5th of this year. And guess who's gonna be getting it? Me! Because the cover is a lot different than this one. They have an actual picture of Wendy and James of what they really look like in the book. And then like the sidebar of the book itself. So beautiful. It's like red. And if you guys have not, I'll put a picture up here on the corner so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But it looks so different than this one up here. I'm not kidding. But this one's 5 out of 5. Ask parents permission to read this book first before buying it, but over 18, go for it. Just read this book. The next one. This book was kind of confusing, but then again, I really liked it, and I gave it like a 4.5. We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. First of all, I didn't really understand this book at all. It was so confusing until the very end, because there is a crazy plot twist at the end. My eyes were wide and my jaw dropped because I could not believe what happened in this. But basically, yes, this book was slow in the beginning, and I did rate this book actually 4 stars, not 4.5. This book will take you, it's basically where this main character, her name is Cadence Sinclair, and she's in the family tree. I didn't really understand it until before, but I think they have it somewhere. Let me find it. Oh yeah, here it is. So it looks like this, where they have like a family tree, and it goes like Harris and Tipper, they're the top dogs. And then you have the 3 girls. Those 3 girls, they had kids, and Cadence is one of them. What happened was they go on to these like trips, these summer vacations on a private island. It looks like they have like a family reunion each summer, but it's a little, like I said, this book was kind of confusing. The book doesn't have like chapters, which is funny, but and I wrote like, you can see that I have like a lot of tabs of like the evidence alone, because this was like a mystery book to me and a little bit of thriller, I should say, but really action and case solving in this one. So basically, something happened in one of their last summer vacations, which I believe it was summer 17. Something happened to Cadence where she lost her memory and she couldn't remember anything that happened before summer 17. But then throughout the chapter after summer 17, she started to remember like little bits of things of what was going on, like what happened to the dog, why her family was acting so weird. But then the plot twist, when you put the pieces together and you start to find out what really happened, you're like, oh my gosh, those people weren't even real. You put me back in time. It felt like that to me. And everybody says this is the most popular book ever, seen on Book Talk, and I was gonna read it myself, and when I read it, I just said, there's no way, I need to reread this again because I didn't understand it at all. But I gave this book actually a 4 out of 5 stars, not 4.5. I wish it was 4.5 because of the plot twist that saved itself, but I gave this one a 4. But I recommend this book too. The next book is it's part of the Descendants series. I really thought this book was going to be interesting because it's not really a new movie anymore, it's like a recent movie. There was a movie that came out, it's called Descendants: The Rise of Red. And I have not seen that movie yet, but I have watched the trailer and it's really good, but I have not seen the movie itself. I have read the book though. I don't know, I didn't really like the book too much, and I gave this one, I think I rated it a 3 or a 4. Yeah, I gave it a 4 stars because the plot twist was good. The book is called Beyond the Isles of the Lost, Wonderland. This is the Descendants series, book number 6, I think. I might be wrong, but I think this is book number 6 or 7. You only have one main character, which is Red, and you still have the Queen of Hearts. Basically, this one was based off of an unbirthday that Red did not really understand. But however, she did have to be ready for a coronation of her being next in line for the throne with her mother. And what happens is this book is that Red is on her way to do like a little mission of finding a way to create an actual birthday party instead of a unbirthday, and making it where it can be fun and interesting and where all the kids in Wonderland can enjoy it without having any problems with the Queen of Hearts. At the end of the book, they do have a actual birthday and everything turns out great, and she does become the next Queen of Hearts. So I gave this book 4 stars, and if you guys have not read this book, go for it. The next one that I have is another spicy book that you should be asking parents permission for as well. This one is another Never After series, and this one is book number 4, I believe. Twisted by Emily McIntyre. I only read this book one time. This one is the retelling of Aladdin. You have 2 people in this one, Yasmin and Julian. And this book is all about running a company that's full of diamonds. In this one, you do have the person that is the ruler of the sultans, which is Yasmin's father, and then you have the other group of sultans all around the business, I think. And then you have Julian, who is acting like Jafar, but this one is the same thing. Spicy, intense, and a little bit of violence in this one. Well, less violence, but there is some in this one, but really intense. This one is where Julian forces Yasmin to marry him. And on top of that, Julian's goal was to become a sultan. You do have this other guy, I think his name is Aiden. Yeah, his name is Aiden, but he acts like Aladdin. And Yasmin and Aiden, they had a relationship, but then Julian interrupted their relationship, and then the ending of this book was too good to be true. And I will not say too much of this book, but I will say ask parents permission before purchasing this one. And I also gave this book 5 stars in this one. It was like actually fast paced too. Same go with Hook. And then finally, the last book that I have for you guys. This one, I've seen it on Book Talk, but not a lot, just on some. And I heard that this book was really good. So I bought it, and I actually gave this one, unfortunately, I gave it 4 stars. Light Lark by Alex Astor. It took me forever, and I did not do a lot of flags for this one, but then again, I did. This was about a place called Light Lark, where you have 6 places, 6 kingdoms in the island of Light Lark, and each one of the 6 kingdoms had 6 rulers. The 6 rulers and the people of that kingdom had either curses and powers, and it was all based on something called the prophecy of what they had to follow and things that they were kind of like afraid of. And most of these rulers in the chapters and throughout this book, they wanted to find a way to break the curse and have everybody act like a normal human being and also still rule their kingdom. So Isla is the ruler of Wildling. The ruler, who is the king of Light Lark, he tells them that they're about to go on a quest. And the quest is that they have to find the heart of Lightlark in order to break this curse. The end of the book was really, really good because you find out who was actually the one that was bringing up all these prophecies and saying about these curses and really wanting just to become better. And it was actually really, really good. But I did give it 4 stars because of how freaking slow it was. But they did just release the hardcover book of this one. I was gonna buy it so I can show you guys what it looked like, but I wasn't going to because I was like, okay, I have these sticky notes on here and I don't want to damage this book. So I was like, nope, I'll just keep the book. And this is the heart that they were actually going after, that I would highly recommend too. But it did take me forever to read because this one was about 500 pages, I think. No, 409 pages. But it almost felt like 500 pages to me. So now I'm gonna talk about special news that I have for you guys. The Never After series that I was just talking about, of the 2 books that I've read, Emily McIntyre just released another new book. This is book number 6, I believe. And this book is Hecht, which is the last one of the Never After series, I think. And it is a retelling of The Little Mermaid. Oh my gosh, you guys, I ordered it. It was supposed to come next week Monday, but instead it's coming today. So that, and it's also a dark romance book, and I really cannot wait to read that book. But I haven't finished the other 3 books that I have. It's Scarred, Wretched, and Crossed. I have not finished those 3 books yet. I haven't gotten to them yet because I'm still stuck on a series of the Disney Chills. So I'm trying to finish that series so I can move on to the other one. But yeah, that new book is coming today. It just got released. I saw that it was released on Amazon. So if you guys are planning to order some on Amazon, go for it. I don't know if they're going to bring out any at like bookstores, but if they do, you guys should definitely read it. Make sure you guys ask parents permission. That is all the books that I've read in the month of September, and I think I'm going to end this video here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and again, if you have not seen my first one of the books that I've read in the month of August, like I said, I will link that down below. And then also, if you guys want to follow my Goodreads account, you guys can follow me at Missy Z. I'll put a link down below of my Goodreads account if you guys want to follow me or see what books I'm currently reading or books I've already read. And if you guys are still interested in reading any of the books that I have not read yet, because I still have a lot of books. I have like over 65 some books right now, so I have a lot to read. So yeah, if you guys want me to, I can put a link down below of my Goodreads account. And if you guys stay until the end of this video, comment down below which books you've read that was your top favorite in the month of September, August, and October. And make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I post videos every Wednesday and Saturday at 3:30 p.m. EST, and I hope to see you guys again in my next video, and until then, miss you already.
Darling, think she ain't ready for me, so be